Libras, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 13th to the 19th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Libra, this week we're going to split up the reading into 4 parts. We're going to first look at yourself, then your relationships, then your work, and then your finances. And these are the most often asked about areas, so we're going to look at it from that perspective first and then give the overall view, the overall perspective at the end. So starting with yourself, which is seen by your ruler Venus. Venus is transiting your 9th house. Well, excuse me, we'll be in your 8th house actually this week, up and through Friday, and then moving into your 9th Friday onward. So the 8th house is very deep. You know, this is the house of what really matters to us in life. It's about going within, doing that transformational work, which is done through acceptance. You know, at the end of the day, it's like when you see a psychologist, what do they say? It's like we have to first be aware of these fears, insecurities, these doubts, there's deeper emotions, these things we've usually buried under the rug or hidden away. And then the next step is to accept them. And it's through that acceptance, that redemption of them, of these aspects of ourselves, that the transformation really occurs. So that's already been the case. There's already been a lot of energy involving that kind of a thing. And through that, I think you guys have learned a lot and still are with Mercury in your 8th house regarding your deeper self, regarding what really matters, intimacy in your relationships, that openness, because you're having more openness with yourself, that can be coming through your relationships, etc. But Friday, you're going to notice this shift, this transformation, more than likely, with yourself, going into your 9th house, much more expansive. This is where we come out of the cocoon stage, metaphorically speaking, and go and transform into the butterfly, which is about seeing that top-down perspective, that free-spirited energy and adventurousness. So a great weekend for tapping into all of that, and that's going to be more so next week once the sun goes into that 9th, followed by Mercury. So that's involving yourself. Now, in terms of your relationships, this is seen by Mars. Mars is retrograde, has been for the past couple months in your 1st house, so you guys are likely rethinking things regarding relationships. There's a lot of reflection on this area, so this is good. It's still supposed to be malleable, adaptive, flexible, how you guys can be independent, direct yourself, be direct in your relationships and all of this, and that willingness to learn and willingness to change your perspective about them is really the key right now. And then at the end of the month, Mars is going to go direct. So then you'll notice a lot of the relationship stuff starting to move forward if you've been feeling it more on the back burner. And for some of you on the romantic side, Neptune is in your 5th house. So really connecting the present moment, help you guys tap into that playful, lighthearted energy, which is the 5th house, which is, really what romance is. It's just lighthearted, playful, but it's all done in this present moment sense, and that's going to be a key today because Saturn is still squaring up to Neptune, so there is this uncertainty about the future, which we'll talk more about. And this could have to do with your self-expression, your interests, enjoyments in life. So it's such an important week for connecting to that acceptance there. Now, in terms of your work, this is seen by Jupiter. You guys are probably learning a lot about your work. There may be a new work direction for you, at least on the day-to-day level this year, which has been this Jupiter very close to the North Node. They're not forming any exact aspects this week, but still very close in the sky, which is important. In terms of your career, this is always seen by the lunar cycle because the moon rules your 10th house. So do watch your dailies to see what the moon is doing in a particular day if you do want to know more about the career stuff. But you guys are coming up to a career high point at the end of this week because Monday of next week, we're going to have a full moon. So as the week unfolds, the moon is gaining more energy, more insight, which is usually a high point, more energy with the career stuff and things moving forward with that. Now, because of the last new moon, it was on a challenging side. It's a good area for you to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself in your life. Has been, I think, challenging yourself with your intimacy and openness, but I think that's also the case with work as well, or it could be. And I think that's a good area to channel it. All right, so that's the work sector. In terms of the financial stuff, you guys do have Saturn in your 2nd house, and this is for the next couple of years for you to save and do the more mature, grounded thing when it comes to the finances. And there might be some uncertainty or doubts about this week. This is that Saturn squaring up to Neptune I was talking about. It's going to go exact on Friday and Saturday. So this is nothing new. It's been going on since November, but now there's a shift. And I think a lot of the shift is about awareness. I think there's more insight about what you guys enjoy in life, which is that Neptune in the 5th, how you can have more acceptance, more faith and trust perhaps about the financial material stuff or with your values, whatever it might be. And through that presence, through that acceptance, great constructive energy, great discipline, and even getting things done, even though we may not exactly know where it's going. All right, so those are the key areas. Now, in terms of the overview, let's go and have a look and see what we may have missed and what else we can look at here. So there's that Neptune going retrograde here on Monday. So that shift, the reflection, things may be becoming a little bit clearer about those areas, particularly with your work, which is what I think is going to be the case, even with your self-expression. Venus does square up to Chiron, so there is some healing taking place with yourself this week, in fact. And I think on Monday, just seeing where you might have some wounds, might have some of those doubts in general through that acceptance, again, because Venus will still be in your 8th house. Still such a great week for that inner acceptance and learning more about yourself in that deeper way. And Monday, you could feel rejuvenated and healed as a result of that going into the rest of the week. But particularly, I think on Friday onward, once Venus gets into that 9th house there. Now, the sun will be sextiling up to Uranus on Tuesday, so this could be some new and different things with your friends or community stuff, which again is such a good area for you to cultivate. Your North Node Jupiter in that 11th house, helping you see that there are opportunities out there, there are aspirations. It's such a good time to cultivate them. And this could be Tuesday, maybe something new with that, and maybe something new too with this deeper understanding as well. Sun squares up to Chiron, healing with it on Wednesday. All right, so healing again, big emphasis this first half of the week. Then that Saturn does square up to Neptune Friday and Saturday, and then the week ends with that full moon on Monday morning, which is going to be on the cusp between your 2nd house of finances, where it's going to be right on the cusp. So it's mostly going to be in your 3rd, but your personal chart may change this. So do know that there is a high point, there's a culmination of your financial side of things, and that could be particularly next week, but it's a great weekend for reflecting on that and seeing where I think you can put in some of that patience, hard work, really about smart work and getting results with the finances, which is that Saturn in the 2nd. And the actual location of the full moon will be in your 3rd, so there's probably going to be awareness about insight, about communication, and maybe doing some reading and writing over the weekend to help stimulate your mind and stimulate your communication. Maybe it's socializing, whatever it might be for you, I think is excellent, because you are coming to a high point with both your values and the intellectual side of things. All right, so Libra, have a great week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.